This pink 12 Plus is called Hyperdrive Activation. This route was really beta intensive, where I felt I needed to be dialed in for every move, especially for the second half. I never liked starting with the left hand because it always felt less secure, so I opted for a slightly more wasteful hand swap, but at least it was more consistent. The leftmost crimp's existence didn't make sense until I eventually figured out that shifting left to settle into it avoided having to do a dynamic movement into the side pulls, and these side pulls are decently sloped, so you definitely wouldn't want to be catching them. The rightmost side pull was the absolute worst though, but I found the best approach was to stabilize with the back flag with the toe in to help counter the rotation from the barn door. These next crimps were all rounded in the divot, so it was the typical test of finger strength. The last two crimps of this section were quite far, at least for me, so I'd recommend establishing a high foot on the chip and leaning into it for the bumps. The last one was pretty rough to dead point though. This ledge is the best spot to rest, and only one of two, so if you're working on this route, I'd recommend milking this spot as much as you can. A rose move and a swap back gets me to the next and last rest spot, which is a combination of the second pocket and a side crimp. Here, the right arm rest is a pretty standard straight arm lean from the left pocket. The left arm rest is best achieved when taking on an assisted perch position while pulling off the right crimp. The right leg is doing a lot of work and should be kept straight in both positions. You'll want to bump just enough to the undercling. Unfortunately, I wasted some time and energy here trying to remember my left foot sequence, but it should be a cross through into a right flag to match the undercling, followed by a foot match to step back into a vertical position for the next crimp. With these next side crimps being on the overhang, it's really easy to barn door, so it does require a decent amount of finger and core strength to stop the swing, but I found a temporary toe hook on the undercling helped reduce the momentum just enough. The ledge is sloped out, so it's not a great place to stop. Once reaching the next crimp, utilizing the right foot and side pull establishes better contact points for the bump. The right hand is then shifted over to get a more vertical position for the next two crimps. And now the crux, which starts with setting up a more outward right foot before going into the side pull. The balance is crucial here because I need to shift my left hand over to have a new contact point to bump into the right-handed Gaston. After settling in and rebalancing to get my left foot up, stepping up into the side pull wasn't bad, but this is followed by a stressful foot swap to get into position for the final sequence. Thankfully, the setters didn't put another crux here because I barely had the energy left to pull through.